Which Side Podcast is a proud member of the Which Side Media Collective.
This week's episode is brought to us by our Amazon affiliate link.
Yeah, it's super simple how it works. All you gotta do is next time you're planning on buying something through Amazon, click through the link in the show notes or go over to whichsidepodcast.com, click through our Amazon link. That way, anything you buy, we get a kickback for.
If you're looking for something to grab, Jeremy suggests
The Peterson's Field Guide to Edible Plants. I don't have it, but I super want it, so feel free to send me a copy or buy it for yourself and learn what you can eat out in North America.
I really want that. I want to know how to just pick my own plants and also mushrooms, but it also scares the crap out of me.
Mushrooms scare me too. They have a field guide for mushrooms. I don't trust myself with identifying mushrooms though.
I don't trust people who say that they know what they're doing and offer them to me, because I'll be like, yeah, you can kill yourself, but don't kill me. Thank you. It's tough.
So check those out though.
Yeah. Just go to whichsidepodcast.com, click on our Amazon link. We get a little, they get a little less.
This is episode 152.
Yeah, this week we talk to ourselves.
Yeah, pretty much. It's some Jordan and Jeremy goodness heading your way.
So hopefully you stick around and enjoy that, because it's not going to change from what dialogue we're having right now, really.
But Jordan, what news and events do we have going on this week?
If you haven't checked it out, it might have already come to your area. But if it hasn't, look up Crimethinc's To Change Everything tour. Yeah, I said Crimethinc.
It's probably coming to an area near you.
Yeah, it'll be in Salt Lake this Tuesday. I think it's going to be in Denver soon. So just really check out the area that you're in. It'll be there if it hasn't.
And if you haven't yet already, check out their podcast, The X-Worker.
Yeah, it's a super great podcast. I totally recommend it.
For the Slingshot this week, October 6, 1918 was the first conference of women trade unionists in Washington, D.C. Yeah. So if you like these little tidbits of history, I pulled them out of the Slingshot Personal Organizer. You should totally get one. They just got the 2016 ones available over at AK Press. So go get one. See what color you get. Let us know what color you get.
I need to get a new one.
I do too. I kind of like my purple one. Purple's my favorite color, so
I'll see if we can get some again.
Yeah, see if we can get another purple one. Do you like your blue one?
Yeah, it's nice.
You gonna go with blue again, or you gonna go a different color?
I don't know. I'll see. I'm not picky. The only thing is, alright, a little off tangent.
Yeah.
Is when I first picked out the black one, and then I noticed on the front, there's a flag on the front, but it was all in white because it was a black.
Yeah, because a black flag. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't really want a white flag. I want a black flag. So I changed completely for that reason.
It's funny because I wouldn't want the black one, not because of that. I like the color. I like having that extra little bit of color in my life.
Yeah. That blue was pretty, though. I was like, I'll go blue.
Your blue is pretty. Yeah. My purple's better, though.
Anyway,
I sincerely hope you enjoy this episode.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side? Which side are you on? 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 Which side are you on?
Okay. It's just you and me today.
Yeah, it is.
What happened?
Well, usually we're pretty good about shit.
Usually we're pretty good about shit.
But sometimes all of our backup plans fall through as well. So,
and even so, we have a standard backup plan. So this week we had several guests fall through, right? And we have a standard backup plan for when that happens, which is to air a lecture series. But last week we didn't have guests fall through. We had pre-planned the lecture series.
I had something where I couldn't make it, so we already had planned the lecture series for that day.
And then this week we had a whole bunch. I mean, just shit aligned perfectly. Just fall through. No one's fault of their own. Just things happen, right? And then, but we didn't want to hold 2 lecture series at once.
So we're gonna kind of kick it old school, back to our roots, how we used to do things.
Hopefully, a little more organized, a little more on point
and coherent.
Yeah. Not so much Mormon rambling.
Not so much woo rambling.
Woo rambling. No, but we actually have a bunch of stuff going on that we have probably like thrown little tidbits out there, in the intros of shows of what we're trying to do and planning on doing. So I think this gives us a good opportunity to really talk about the goals of the show, the collective, where we're trying to move, and how we can try to help everyone else, because that's really what the whole idea of the collective was.
Yeah.
Right. So do you want to go into the biggest thing that we're trying to do right now?
Yeah, we're just about to launch a store,
but not just any store. This is DIY through and through store.
Yes, it is. Yeah, we are doing pretty much everything. Like, I would say if we were making the shirts ourselves, we would be doing everything. But like, we're literally making bandanas ourselves. We're
sewing bandanas ourselves. We made our own silkscreen press. Not just, not that we're just making we're printing them. We actually made the fucking press.
So it's going to be awesome. And hopefully you all enjoy it as well. It's going to be really beneficial. I think we're going to offer people who have been super supportive of the show. We're your grandfathered and you're getting stuff already.
Yeah, we have plans. We already have stuff set aside to make just for you as our super big thank you, best we can do without giving you a hug in person.
And then for people who future supporters of the show, we already have stuff set in motion for you as well. So we are super thankful for people who help support the show, and so we want to give back that love.
Do you want to leave it at that, or should we go into a little detail?
No, we can go into detail.
I'm fine. Yeah, let's go into a little bit of detail. One of the best ways that we've actually had for support of the show is through the listener shout out that we get, right? So we ask for $10 donation for a listener shout out. We say pretty much whatever the fuck they want us to say. I don't think we've ever refused to say anything yet. No, everyone's been super cool. And we, do that shout out. They basically fund almost the entire cost of that episode. And, we move forward from there. What we wanted to do is give them something a little bit extra special for coming out and actually giving us that money for that. So that's why we are hand making Which Side bandanas that we will ship out to anyone who sponsors an episode.
And that went for the past as well, like we were saying. Like, if you've sponsored an episode in the past, you get a bandana.
And once we send these out, we'll let everyone know. If we've missed you, just let us know. It is nothing that, on purpose, but we might miss somebody over the last almost 3 years. So we deeply apologize for that. But
yeah, so if you hear this and we forgot you, really sorry. We'll make it up to you.
Totally. But on the good side of this, I'm learning how to sew.
Yeah.
Just for you guys. And I shouldn't say you guys, you all. I'm trying to eliminate that from my terminology. It's super hard for some reason. For that phrase is super fucking hard for me to get rid of.
I tend to say y'all anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Probably because I'm from Utah. But
no, y'all's not that common here, though.
I don't know then. I've always just said y'all.
I've always just said you guys. I don't know why that one is so hard for me. And it's always like I say it, and as it's coming out, I'm like, why are you using this term? I don't know. Maybe I'm too self-critical.
I try to always use it, but like, then again, like, it's just common for me to use that anyway. So
Yeah.
I think that I would probably be pretty.
What's another good one besides y'all? The only downside for y'all to me is that country slang and that I don't necessarily want to be associated with.
You could go full on use
Yeah.
Ewans. Yuns.
Folks?
Folks?
Folks is a good one.
I
Thanks,
use folks.
Cal.
I use folks too.
Folks is a good one.
People.
Assholes is not a good one, Callie. Hey, what are you assholes up to today? Actually, maybe that is a good one.
Fun little sidebar. Mari hadn't heard ass wipes before, and so she
I hadn't heard of the
insult ass wipes.
but she knew that there was a product for ass wipes.
No, actually, no. So, no. So we were talking about insults and how American insults are pretty stupid.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Why don't you just say something like someone who wipes their ass and just like call them an ass wiper?" And I'm like, "That's actually an insult. It's ass wipe is an insult." She's like, "No, that can't be." Yeah.
But I think the insult ass wipe isn't calling you the person who wipes their ass. They're calling you the residue of wiping the ass.
Well, it came from like whether or not saying like something like douche or douche nozzle is politically correct. If you would say something more like enema or enema bag or something like that, or if that's not PC
because douche is gender specific, right?
Yeah. Or if somebody, or is that not PC for people that actually have to use it? And so that's kind of where it came from. And she's like, "Well, why don't you just call someone who wipes their ass an ass wiper?"
Yeah, we do.
We do.
We do.
We do.
Yeah, I don't like douche. I don't like that insult. But it has, to me, it's not even like, oh, I'm trying to be politically correct. It just is stupid.
Yeah, it is.
Doesn't make any sense. But just like it doesn't make any sense when and I'm guilty of it when people say something like, "Oh, suck my dick,"
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how is that a negative? Like, is it a negative to suck someone's dick? I mean,
No, it's different. It's weird.
Yeah. You're blushing.
No, I just think it's the tangent. The sidebar went a little bit off.
Our sidebar went a little bit sidebar.
What we were talking about anyway. We were talking about exactly. I don't know.
We were talking about the bandanas still, weren't we? How we're making them from scratch, DIYing it.
I don't think we were anymore.
Did we go somewhere else after that?
Oh, that's right. We were assholes. We went from
y'all
as a
yeah.
There we go. So that's what happened.
But I'm super stoked about being able to print now.
Yeah,
used to print previously. I love it. It's so much fun.
We already have tons of designs. Unfortunately, we can't release them all at the same time because we're doing this slowly.
It's cost prohibitive, right? Yeah, to set everything up.
And so, but we right off the bat, we're going to have some support shirts, and they're going to help support political prisoner campaigns, and also
the show, and the collective, right? We kind of start talking about what we want as the collective. So let's go into that a little bit. Let's go into the collective. We started the collective kind of as a way of trying to help other people get their voice heard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever content that might be what they want to get out there. And we've helped a couple people, but no one has really stuck with it, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's a big challenge of what we're doing is getting that commitment of people sticking to it. I mean, it's a personal commitment they have to make themselves, not to us.
And it's not always like the fault. It's things happen.
No, of course not. But yeah, we really just want to help people get their voices heard.
Mm-hmm.
And most of that right now, we can do it through a little bit of financial, not a ton, but mostly the advice of how to get set up, how to start recording, how to edit, where to get things hosted, how to get them visible, all that stuff.
So far, like you said, we've had some people. We've had 643, which was like a vegan sports podcast.
Radical sports podcast. Yeah.
We had Radiculture,
Mhm.
which was kind of what it sounds, radical culture podcast.
Kind of like a pop take on radical culture.
Mhm.
If I'm saying that right.
And we had
A radical take on pop culture. Sorry.
we had Soka,
Mm-hmm.
which
is
was,
about Indian revolutionary thought.
and then we also obviously have ours, and we have the lecture series, which is kind of our side
Mm-hmm.
podcast project, which we want people to also contribute to.
One of the things we haven't really publicized is that we help Elizabeth Layer do all of their videos right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really a radical; it's more DIY stuff. But we're helping them do all their videos, get their website up and going, and stuff. We haven't even really pushed it at all.
Yeah, we haven't talked about.
We haven't
them.
really talked about them at all.
And that's more kind of on them.
Yeah.
They didn't really want us to.
Well, it's not that they don't want us to. They just don't know what to have us, like how to shout them out. It's all basically like Halloween stuff. If anyone wants to check it out, ElizabethLayer.com.
Like Halloween horror. Awesome.
Yeah, we just did a new tutorial with them on how you age bottles to make them look like they're old, and labels, and make labels and stuff for it. Just that kind of stuff. So if you're into that, check it out.
Also, as far as video content,
you pointed at me.
Yeah,
I didn't know what you wanted me to say.
Do you have any other projects that are coming up?
We have done the first tests for Isadora's show that she wants to do, YouTube show called Little Punk's Vegan Kitchen. Her first one that she's going to release is called Hot Dog Surprise.
Ooh.
Yeah. She calls it Hot Dog Surprise because she doesn't like the term pigs in a blanket, because you don't cook pigs in blankets.
It's true.
Yeah.
Shouldn't.
Yeah. So she has some awesome ways of doing it. It's a kids vegan cooking show, so look forward to that.
We also we have a surprise episode coming up. That's a video episode.
Yeah, we're trying to get more of that video content created as well.
Because that's the part of this collective is not just podcasts. We kind of want all new media, in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a media collective, so we don't really want to focus too much on print, but
we would help out however we can. Yeah,
exactly.
When we started doing this, not knowing what we're doing, so we'll help out other people not knowing what we're doing.
Exactly.
No, but there's the reason I think we really want to focus on new media is there's already a ton of traditional media things out there for people with more radical ideas, like all the different presses and cult and everything else like that,
and collectives,
and people are doing amazing stuff, like totally amazing stuff. And it's one of the things I actually feel a little bit bad about, like doing our own press, like the printing and everything else, because there's so many other radical people that can do that and are available.
Mm-hmm.
But really for us, it's cost prohibitive at this point. Like we want to be fair to them and give them, their due for their labor, and unfortunately our labor's free. So
I totally recommend, if you're trying to look for like a place to print whatever it is, like if you need business cards or t-shirts,
flyers,
anything, stickers,
posters, they do it all.
Yeah, P&L Press is a great press.
Mm-hmm.
They're out of Denver. They're wobbly union, awesome,
yeah, collectively owned.
So,
check them out. They're totally amazing. Everything they do. They have an awesome new automatic press that just makes me super jealous compared to my little piece of wood that we made ourselves. Silk screen press. Sorry, what we're talking about. Yeah, screen press.
So if you're looking to do something, always totally recommend checking them out.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you run an organization, you need things done, check them out. pnlpress.com, I think, or are they org?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
P&L Press,
but Google it; it comes up. That's how I find them. What else? What else do we have going on? Well, with that video content, right? Mm-hmm. So we've done one so far. We're just finishing editing it. Do you have any other ideas of things you want to throw out there?
Well, I have a bunch of ideas. It's just finding time, honestly. Like,
it's people don't realize how much time some of this takes.
Yeah, like I used to have a cooking blog, and it's probably still available. I don't remember the last time I updated it, but that was Militant Vegan Cooking, and it's obviously just a joke. I did some articles for some magazines too, like Profane Existence. A couple times I featured a couple of my recipes in there, but I was thinking about possibly bringing that into the video sphere as well at some point if I can find time. And I'm an avid gamer, so I wouldn't mind doing some gaming things at some point either, but that's just me.
I want to do, like, one of my little passion things that I really, really want to do is a vegan camping ebook.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Just like hints and tricks and tips of going camping while being vegan. Yeah.
I have a few like recipe book ideas specifically for vegan prisoners that I thought would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like vegan eating in prison.
Like how you take vegan margarine and sugar and make a shitty frosting.
Shitty frosting, exactly.
Yeah.
Throw it on top of a biscuit and you have a cake. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Only good.
How to make hooch.
Nah, probably wouldn't go into that. I want these to be able to get into prison.
Actually get into prison. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
So people in prison can make things. Even though it's technically contraband to do a lot of the stuff, a lot of it's looked past.
But, I mean, yeah, take things that you can get in a lot of commissaries and
exactly
mix it. Yeah, do your own little thing. Like some spices you can get in commissaries and how to add them into your shitty beans they give you.
Or spices you can get elsewhere.
Yeah. I got you.
Commissary.
Yeah.
But no, I think that would be pretty awesome. I was thinking of getting a whole bunch of political prisoners together and giving their favorite recipes.
That'd be a really cool project.
Yeah.
I'm all about trying to do the free ebook stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that maybe that's just because it's all that new media stuff instead of just the print. Which is funny because like Tofu magazine, they went from being print to ebook, and now they're going back to print.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was always interested in doing like a zine like that, like a long-term zine, because I know how.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be responsible for like articles or anything else. I just like organizing content.
Do you think there is enough people that would want like e-zines?
Probably.
I mean, I'd be totally about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they have to exist. I've never really looked into it, but I really should. I really like the idea of it.
It's super easy too, and I can format zines so that they do whatever you want to do.
And once you formatting it into like an EPUB or even a PDF would be fine, right?
Mm-hmm. And I can even enhance it with CSS and make it do fun things.
Yeah, I'll let you do that. I'm cool. I'm cool with passing that down. Yeah, with the vegan camping, kind of my idea is to not have it solely based on recipes, though. Like a lot of like generalized camping stuff, you know, like here's like some things you would want to keep in your basic camping kit, and this is like why you would want to have, you know, why you want flint and steel, and how to make like different fire starters, like the taking the lint and making like charcoal lights with them and things like that, like just the basics of the basics, because it's good in like that quote unquote survival stuff too, you know. But also it's just fun as far as like camping is concerned.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
How about a anarchist campfire song?
Yeah. Same thing. Like you can even add that in the same thing, you know, because like if you did like maybe like 4 issues a year, you know, like quarterly, you could just do different things.
I'm a vegan, you're a vegan, vegans we are all.
And when we get together, we do the vegan call.
I'm not going to finish.
And when we need each other, we do the vegan shout. And all the other vegans come to help us out.
Oh, vegan, 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 vegan.
Vegan, 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 vegan.
Exactly.
Yep. That's how many people do you think haven't heard that?
I don't know.
Who taught you?
I don't know.
I know who taught me.
I don't remember.
Sean Diener taught me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't recall.
And everyone I know that knows that Sean Diener taught. I wonder if it's a Sean Diener thing.
Could be. Could be like totally.
Oh, Callie said I taught her.
So that's probably. Yeah, I probably got it from you or Callie or.
Yeah.
But I knew Diener too. But.
Veggie Kids, they posted it and said Sean taught us this.
That's funny.
Yeah. So Sean, if you're listening, thank you for that. So what other things have been going on? I know there's been a whole bunch of shit going on with DXE lately, both cross country and locally here. Is that anything you want to dive into?
I don't know. I don't know what I had to contribute to it. I wasn't really ever involved.
All right, just that sideline, like.
I just think people really need to take a look at intersectionality and also listening to voices of oppressed people.
Yes, I agree with you. I totally, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know if there's much more to say.
Yeah, what?
And check your privilege always.
When was the last time you really had to check your own privilege and like had a deep realization of it?
Like, I don't know, every day? Or like really check it?
Yeah, like really check it.
I guess one time I was offered a graphic design job for the Department of American Indian Affairs.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't feel like I should take the job. And I didn't. And that was because they were so like awful about it anyway. And these are the people that are, this is government.
Yeah.
And
the state of Utah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just like, I don't know, it just needs to be a Native American design. Just do whatever you want to do. It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter.
And I'm like,
that's such a broad statement to say, like Native American design.
Exactly.
It's
and that's why I was like, these are the people that are dealing with the affairs. It's not cool.
It couldn't even be like, hey, we have this project coming up with the Utes. It's kind of,
and they did. They said specifically like that this certain tribe was going to be hosting this event, and I'm like, oh, cool. So do you want me to use like, stuff from
yeah,
and that there's like, no, just use whatever. This is what they did last time, and I eventually backed out of it. I actually talked to a lot of my like Native American friends and realized like that I shouldn't be doing it.
How fucked up even the organization is.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And they're like, that job should go to an indigenous person. Like, you're right, completely.
That's a good one. I like that. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm trying to think of like the last time I like really, really had to. One wasn't like a super big one, but it always stuck out in my mind. It was pretty recent. We were at a work party, and one of my coworkers, she's white. Her partner is black. They have, a little black baby. I hate classifying it as black, but that's what society would classify it as, right? Mm-hmm. And her partner wasn't at the event, and every single person that would have come up to her was always like, "Oh, did you adopt this baby?" And it was just that constant of like, no. And like, it was that first time I really like that's something I don't have to deal with,
Yeah.
And I was talking to her about it and just how frustrating it is for her. Yeah.
That would be awful.
Yeah.
People are, I don't know, people are weird in general. Like, even things like going up to someone and saying, so when are you guys going to have kids? You need a little bit of pointer, something like that. You don't know what those people are experiencing. What if those people have been trying to have kids for the last 5 years and they just can't?
Or they have no fucking desire.
Exactly. Either way.
Yeah.
It's like people just need to mind their own fucking business sometimes.
What's really funny about that situation is you guys get that,
Yeah.
right? But we get the same thing still.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys choose not to have kids, and we can't have any kids.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like they have no comprehension of how that feels or the trials or anything about those people. Like, just let people live their fucking lives.
Yeah. I don't know. That's what makes me hate humanity sometimes.
With us at least, my family does not get the how hurtful it can be.
Yeah.
Like, they make comments all the time.
Well, same with our side, but that's just because it's just the culture that they're in. They believe that you need to multiply and replenish the earth, and so that's all that they want to focus on is more people, more babies.
Yeah. And like with us, they get sympathetic when you say, "Oh, we can't," but it shouldn't matter that we can't. It's our choice.
Yeah.
Like either way, you shouldn't even be brought up. Like, yeah, that's true. That must suck.
So I mean, that's what I think about that with a lot of different situations, because I mean, obviously that's just a minor situation, and I mean, it pisses me off when people do that, but like it's nothing compared to what some people go through, and they get that probably on a daily basis.
But it makes it relatable to yeah. Huh.
Like I have a friend who, I don't know, a lot of different things. I had a friend that dated a person of color, and now everyone just assumes that they only date people of color. Like,
oh really?
Yeah.
Is it one of those things where they assume that they fetishize the race, or just?
I guess so. Yeah. It's really weird. It's like, and the person's come out and says, I date all people. I don't know why people just keep assuming I date one particular type of person just because of one person I dated, while in the past I
and that's
completely different people.
It's another thing that I know I haven't had to deal with, and it just relatively recently didn't really realize the impact of it, was that people of color and of different nationalities, they get fetishized. And that's something they have to really be on the lookout for, and how horrible would that be that every single time someone shows interest in you, you have to wonder if it's not because of you, but, because the way your skin looks.
Yeah, totally.
It's just horrible.
It's awful.
But let's make it a little bit lighter and throw it back out there. This is exactly why we wanted to do a collective and not just do our own show, so we can help people get their voices heard and talk about issues that are important to them. So if any one of you guys, I was gonna say you guys again, right? If anyone out there listening, has any ideas that, or they know people that are trying to get things done, we will help out in any way we possibly can, whether that's just through mentoring or figuring out. And like I said, we'll help figure if we'll help anyone get their voice heard, basically. Yeah,
that's another challenging thing, is we are cis white males, and that is so common.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and it sucks. So, yeah, we would love to have. I don't know.
I would much rather be a cis white male voice in a sea of everything else than the standard like it is right now. But yeah,
now what?
Now but it is challenging. It's one of those things that I always think about with the show, which I'm so grateful that Mari does such a great job with our guests and is always mindful of making sure that we have a pretty well-rounded view of guests. Even though the vast majority of our guests come from the vegan standpoint, we try to get a good variety, but Mari does a fantastic job at that. So what guests right now would you put on our dream list? I say Moby.
I say Moby. I was going to say Moby.
I say Moby for sure. And the funny thing about Moby is I think it's doable. I think it's actually easily doable.
Yeah.
But nervous so nervous that I don't know. It's like one of those things like, yeah, I would love it. At the same time, I'd shit my pants.
It's just tough because mainstream celebrities, they have very little time.
Yeah.
And ours is a long form hour interview. So,
and when I say like, you know, it stresses me out and I'd shit my pants, it has nothing to do with like, oh, it's a celebrity, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's, oh, I know it's going to give us lots of exposure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to fuck it up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not the nervousness talking to Moby. I've actually talked to Moby before.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably stoned out of his mind at this time because this was before he was clean. But he was super nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the celebrity size. It's more of the stage that we have for the ability to fuck it up.
Yeah.
I think that's what made me so nervous with like Rod Coronado.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that one went well.
I think it went pretty well. We addressed everything that we wanted to. I don't know if he would want to be on again.
I don't think you would mind.
No, I think it went pretty well.
No different. I think we ran into like the time constraint with M1, where like literally the only time we could catch him was on a cab to the airport.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean that's the kind of issues that you run into with celebrity names.
Yeah, that is true.
Honestly though, I like not having celebrities on as much. I like giving voices to
I like
giving a voice to the people that don't.
I like the people in the trenches.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's why like I liked having like Amber on.
Mm-hmm.
That was super great. I loved having Eric on. Yeah, but Eric David was really good. One of the ones that we went into it not knowing was the attorney for Animal League Defense Fund. Is that what it is?
Legal Defense Fund.
Yeah, and we didn't know for sure if he was vegan,
Mm-hmm.
and it was one of those situations that we weren't super comfortable just outright asking because we didn't want to feel stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So we approached it not knowing, and the interview went fine, but I would have approached it slightly differently. And he's so media savvy that he never brought things up that made it super clear.
Yeah.
And so, because he's super media savvy, super great. And I was reading another interview later with him, and he's like, "Of course I'm fucking vegan." I'm like, "God damn it! Should have just said something." Like,
yeah. Well, that's tough with a lot of our guests. Like, sometimes we don't know completely their background.
Yeah,
and like, obviously, I think this should be obvious to any of our listeners. We don't necessarily agree with our guests all the time.
Oh God, no. No.
But we also aren't super confrontational.
Sometimes we will like raise concerns, but we didn't start the show with the idea of confronting everyone's ideas.
Yeah. I mean, it's just an outlet for people to talk about what projects they're working on and
exactly. Yeah.
And just hanging out. And I don't necessarily agree with everyone I hang out with either.
And I don't necessarily agree with everything that I happen to say sometimes.
Fair enough. Well, like our old episodes, I talked about acupuncture, and that was before I learned how wooey they were.
Well, exactly. And
so,
sometimes you'll say things
mm-hmm.
and you don't realize, like, we don't go back and edit every sentence by sentence of what we're saying.
Oh.
So you'll say things that you are talking about, like complex ideas, and you're trying to sum it up in a very brief statement. And so sometimes that comes across as either not knowing too much or not having a solidified idea. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that with that happens sometimes to both our guests and ourselves. Yeah.
I think the funniest thing is when somebody references something from an episode and I don't recall. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, remember that one time you said blah, 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 blah? Nope. I do not. But I probably did.
That sounds vaguely familiar, like something I would say. So, from the history of the show, worst guest.
The guy from Anonymous.
Yep. I was right there with you.
Yep.
Yeah, guy from Anonymous, totally worst guest. I don't even want to say he's from Anonymous.
Yeah, the guy.
That guy who was talking about Anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we thought we were getting something totally different when he came on.
And it might not be in him. Well, he was drunk, I think.
Oh, he was clearly drunk, which is fine.
Uh-huh.
Lots of people probably come on.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, but I don't think he was maybe in the state of mind to do a solid interview.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a terrible interview. Unless you really want something terrible, don't listen to it.
And I mean, we'd love someone from Anonymous to be on again, but
oh, for sure, it had nothing to do with Anonymous.
Yeah,
it was just this guy.
It was just the particular person
in that situation. Yeah,
which, if you listen, sorry, but it's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, could be our fault. I mean, we didn't direct it very well either. I'd say
was super early in our interviewing as well.
Which one was the most fun for you?
I don't know. I've had a lot of fun ones.
Honey in the Bronx probably for me.
Yeah, interesting.
It's not a great interview by any stretch of the imagination, but it was just a lot of fun, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it got crazy.
It did. I mean, we got him to pee on air.
Yeah, I think if we were to have that at this point, we probably wouldn't have cut it into 2 episodes.
It would have been way different.
It would have been way different.
Yeah, if we ever have Ben on again, it would be way, way different.
It was learning curve, learning experience.
What was that? Like our 5th episode, maybe?
No,
it was early on.
Yeah. It's definitely because we had many episodes before we started the interviewing format.
That's true. Yeah.
So,
but one of our first real interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you guys don't know who Ben or Honey in the Bronx is,
they have Big Fat Vegan Radio.
Yeah, they have the Big Fat Vegan Radio. They also do a cooking show. What is the cooking show called? Now I'm
Honey in the Bronx something or other.
Yeah, just go to Vegan Feed. It's all there.
Mm-hmm.
Go to veganfeed.com. Check out everything Honey in the Bronx does.
My favorite episodes though are probably the ones where we just lose track of time and we could just keep talking and talking and talking and honestly it's usually the guests that I share the most similar ideals with.
One of my favorite up there is Lauren
from
Food Empowerment Project. Yes, I just loved talking with her. She super easy conversation, super flowing, super smart. I felt like I learned a ton, and it honestly felt like hanging out, which is what we've always wanted.
And I love that she has no problem calling people out, like in a way that's healthy.
But like, it's not like a calling out you're an asshole, or calling out and demeaning. She does it in the most uplifting way possible, you know. And I think we all can learn from that. Definitely. It's amazing. Yeah.
Definitely.
And I still check my chocolate every time.
Yeah, me too. It's one thing that I hadn't done until that point.
I didn't either up until that point. And it's so simple.
Super simple.
And yeah, I think of her every single time. So thanks, Lauren. I think of you every time I go shopping because I buy chocolate every time. I'm one of those people.
I liked recently the episode with Tim from Project Oya. Project Oya. Yeah. Project Oya.
Yeah.
And it was the sea turtle rescue.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that we could have talked and talked and talked.
Yeah, it's just the real activists, the ones we love doing. And you know, it's like when you think about it, all the ones that we've really, really loved are just those core activists. That they're activists at the core is what I mean. Like, you know, where they're not just, I have a new product that I'm trying to promote, which there's nothing wrong with. Like I have nothing wrong with that, but yeah.
But yeah, there's so many of those. I can't even name how many.
So we both agreed on Moby in our dream list. Who else? Would you do
Chomsky?
Ingrid? I wouldn't do Chomsky. I'm sorry.
That would be just so dry of an interview, I think.
He's too smart for me to get a valuable interview out of, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
And I'm not like putting myself down. I just don't know
what we would
really make an interesting conversation on, because it's having this conversational flow. It's not like I could sit down and think of 15, 20 questions I'd like to have them answered, but it wouldn't be the same kind of show that we do.
I'd have Ingrid on, but I'd want to. I don't know if she'd want to be on.
I don't know if she would. I don't know if I would. I don't know how I'd approach Ingrid.
Well, because like we don't want to be confrontational, but like when we have an opportunity like that,
I wouldn't turn it down. If Ingrid came to us and said, "Hey, I want to be on," I'm not going to say no. Mm-hmm. I just don't know how I would approach her, because I have mad respect for her.
Yeah,
totally. And I maintain I have a love-hate with PETA. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be where I am without PETA, and I think a lot of activists feel the same way.
Well, I'd obviously want to talk to her about her book, the Free the Animals.
Books.
Well, that book.
That book in particular. That book molded my life. Like, it changed me.
It's a really good book, and it's interesting. And I want to talk about like the history of PETA, mm-hmm. for sure. I'd want to talk about objectification, and that's just because I want to know why. Like, and I've heard
we know why.
I know why.
We know why.
But
they don't keep that hidden or secret.
It's any PR is good PR, and anything can be turned into a conversation about veganism.
Yep,
which I get, but I don't think it's right necessarily always.
I don't believe any PR is good PR for one. Mm-hmm. But that it all falls on the statistics of it, which I don't have, and would assume that they probably do have. Mm-hmm. But the idea that it's okay to objectify should just be wrong.
Yeah.
Period.
And that's kind of what DXE is facing right now with, like, I think in particular, certain campaigns, as well as just like in the structure of the core members and mm-hmm. stuff like that, just mm-hmm. how issues are resolved, as well as like their dog meat campaign and other things like that are people are.
And it's tough because no organization, when you get super big, is going to be perfect. There's going to be faults. It's just how you respond to those faults, right? So when people point out things, it's how you respond to, those things. Like, I don't think anyone would get super upset when they say, "Oh, look, hey, you guys are doing this. You probably shouldn't because of X, Y, and Z." Mm-hmm. And they say, "We never looked at it that way. Thank you." And then making change based on it, or
exactly
interpreting it and making a choice. But it's how you respond to those things. It's not necessarily that those things get arisen or they arise,
And I've even heard that there's like differences of opinion within core members of like this group, and they think, some people think that everything negative should be censored, and other people say no, nothing should be censored, and we should respond to negativity.
Yeah.
And I'm in the camp that nothing should be censored.
I'm in that camp except for doxing in certain situations.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Because that's a hypocrisy among myself, because I am totally for doxing in other situations.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that doxing is necessarily appropriate in all situations.
No. That's correct. Yeah, that would be, in certain circumstances, I could see where doxing wouldn't be shouldn't be tolerated.
I mean, especially when it comes to the case of victims.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then, you get into the hardships of when people view both sides as victims, depending on how you look, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why, I don't think doxing is always the correct first action to go to.
No. Yeah.
But vivisectors, fuck you. You get doxed.
Mm-hmm. Fur farms, whatever.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Again, my hypocrisy, right?
No, I get it. Yeah. I get where you're coming from, for sure. But yeah, for the most part, though, if somebody has something, like, because if somebody's saying something like bacon's tasty, they're just making themselves look like an idiot for the most part.
Yeah, whatever.
Why did even delete that?
Yeah, you don't need to delete that.
And then, if somebody has something valid that they're saying, then they need to be heard and it should be responded to.
It's why I like comment systems that allow things to be voted and ranked, mm-hmm. basically like how they impact the community. Not saying that those are perfect. There's easy ways of manipulating those systems.
For sure.
But it doesn't make it where it's a historical line where just because it was posted in a certain time frame, it gets a certain spot in viewing ability. You know what I mean? But that to me, that's not censoring. That's just community saying what they want to see.
Yeah.
You know, but you're not erasing anything either.
I mean, there's still problems with that. Like if somebody posts later and it's not valid, the comment that was posted first is already going to have that many more likes.
Of course. Yeah, it's not. I'm not saying it's a perfect system.
Yeah.
Just, you know, sometimes it's a little bit better.
No, it's definitely, and I like that. I like comments on comments as well.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Digital era is so weird.
It totally is. Should we call it, or do you anything else you really wanted to talk about?
I think that's fine.
Well, you know, thanks for sticking through this one, guys. See, there I go again. Y'all,
folks,
you folks out there, thanks for sticking through this. Next week we'll have a backlog. How funny is that? So hopefully, you know, we'll bring you lots of guests in the future.
Enjoy.
This week you heard
Sirens Fade by Tides.
Right now you're listening to
My Only Swerving by L1011.
So iTunes, hey, we had a couple more ratings this week. Thank you so much. No more reviews, but we had a couple people go through and give us some more ratings. Super helpful still. But if you haven't yet, please go rate and review us on iTunes. Just go write a nice little review. All it has to say is, I liked it. 5 stars. And we'll say thank you. We'll give you a little shout out at the end here. And if you've already done it, do it again on someone else's device. #Ghost Review.
#Ghost Review.
It really helps us out a lot.
If you aren't our friend yet, be our friend. Like us, follow us, become one of us on social media.
One of us.
We often post things on there that we don't talk about on the show. And by often, we mean pretty much every day.
Or more.
Yeah. So, do that. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, maybe Google+, but we don't really post on there, so...
I mean, we're there. We also have Ello if you want to get really...
Oh, yeah.
If you
we
really
probably
want
have a YouTube, too.
Yeah. But we'll have stuff on YouTube coming up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So make sure you check out all those.
WhitchSidePodcast.com, click on the social tab.
And donate while you're at it.
Do it.
Fuck it, man.
Shit it, man.
Shit it.
Damn it, man. Fuck it, shit it, damn it.
Which Side Podcast is hosted and produced by Jordan Halliday and Jeremy Parkin of the Which Side Media Collective, with web design by Jordan Halliday and sound design by Jeremy Parkin. Booking by Mari Halliday. Theme music by Commandantes. Go to whichsidecollective.org to check out the other shows in the collective. As always, fuck shit damn.